With NASCAR's National Canadian Series returning to the West Coast for the first time since 2019, Tempers and Penalties were the names of the game in Edmonton, and a Wednesday night doubleheader creates some outstanding point shakeups. What is going on, everybody? It's Reegser here, and today, it's going to be a different style of looking back at a NASCAR Pinty Series race, or should I say races? That is right, because the Pinty Series just completed a West Coast swing in Edmonton and Saskatoon, including a doubleheader on the latter, so why not recap all of them in today's video rather than doing separate videos, which probably would just be a complete waste of time and just completely unnecessary. If you haven't yet, I highly recommend you go and watch my 5th race review video going over race 5 at the Honda Indy Toronto circuit so you remain caught up on what has gone on so far this season. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything else. Alrighty then, races 6 through 8, the Bayer 300 on a Saturday afternoon, and the Leland Industries Twin 125s on a Wednesday evening. Yet again, another strange one on the schedule, but hey, it ain't the last one to be. There were a couple of headlines as the Edmonton race weekend approached. After missing Toronto, which likely has to do with his crash in Newfoundland in June, Calgary's Brett Taylor made his return in the number 3 car. 2 local drivers showed up on both entry lists for the West Coast, including Chantel Kalika out of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, and Jamie Krishik out of Grand Prairie, Alberta. On the Saskatoon list, a driver with a familiar last name is visible, and it's none other than the son of 4-time Pinty Series champion Scott Steckley, Kyle Steckley. Kyle Steckley was set to make his Pinty Series debut at the Twin 125s, driving for his father's team in the number 2022 car, and he's bringing on loads of success at local tracks across Ontario, including many victories this year in the APC United Late Model Series, and being a consistent talent at Delaware Speedway. Steckley finally decided that he was ready for NASCAR's top Canadian series. All I'm gonna say is, if this kid gets a full-time ride down the line, expect him to shine. Along with Kalika and Krishik comes a 3rd local driver for the Twin 125s. From Saskatoon, Matt Shirley driving for DJ Kennington's team. Well, it's time to get into the race recaps now, beginning with the Bayer 300 at Edmonton International Raceway. A 300-lap race on a track with a length of 0.250 miles and the shortest straightaways imaginable. Insert a billion-lap traffic fiascos. In practice, Donald Teach was quite the name to see at the top of the board, with good results in past races here, including a runner-up finish in 2017. Maybe it wasn't surprising to see his name up there. After him, there's just a bunch of casual names, no surprises. In qualifying, Teach was not at all the same, putting up the 11th fastest time, while funny enough, the 11th fastest time from practice, Alex Tagliani scored the pole. Tagliani is a past winner at this track, having won it 2 times, including a victory in 2016, and once again there's just some casual names on the rest of the board, including a good rise from practice with Rafael Assard and Marc-Antoine Cameron qualifying 5th after failing to get a time in practice. At the green flag, Kevin Lacroix and DJ Kennington were the 2 to fight for the lead, while Tagliani surprisingly fell back a ton, and rookie JP Bergeron caught himself spun around between turns 3 and 4, only 10 laps in, with no caution. By about 20 laps in or so, the lap traffic trouble began, but Lacroix was able to extend his lead by about lap 40, while Kennington was getting heat from Cameron for 2nd. The first caution wasn't until lap 61 as Wallace Stacy went around in turn 4, and throughout the next couple of green flag runs and caution periods, with one of the latter being for Brett Taylor, who had to quit the race due to a suspension problem, Cameron was the dominant car. Man, he's just been so good on the ovals this year. Literally 1 lap after the Brett Taylor caution, Andrew Ranger went around. What a weird season for the number 27 car. He literally just won't stop flip-flopping pace literally every single race. The luck is just, it's so conflicting. At the halfway break, Cameron remained the leader with rookie Brandon Watson, Gary Clute, and Kevin Lacroix the 3 best cars behind. Almost immediately after the break, the first headline of the West Coast swing took shape, at least based on during the races, as there was an unexpected incident between Watson and pole sitter Alex Tagliani, who got together off turn 2, both receiving extensive damage. Watson could continue, but Tagliani went laps down on pit road. For the rest of the way, it was a dogfight between Cameron and Lacroix for the lead, with the 2 occasionally swapping back and forth. Surprisingly, Brandon Watson had snuck into the top 5 by lap 180, and after 95 laps of green flag racing, the pressure between the leaders and the lap traffic finally exploded as Lacroix was turned by Andrew Reegser. The two didn't seem to get at each other later on at any point, so perhaps there was some understanding there, but oh man, the term understanding was not what the driver of the number 18 car had in mind. Yeah, you know, 26 laps of green flag racing go on, and then with 5 laps remaining... Oh boy. Yup. Tagliani literally did a Matt Kenseth, Joey Logano sort of situation right on Brendan Watson while he was literally in 4th place. And Tagliani was laps down, they get together, and the payback also ruins Trayton Lapcevic's day as the number 20 car had to retire from the race. Oh my god, Tagliani, what have you done? Yeah, who thought those two drivers would form a potential rivalry? We already have Kevin Lacroix and Gary Clue, which may or may not still be a thing, and now it's rookie versus veteran. There would need to be an overtime restart, a green-white checkered, Marc-Antoine Cameron versus Kevin Lacroix. I will just let you watch the finish and let you judge it.
Green is out. We are in NASCAR overtime.
Down into 1 and 2. Cameron hits his marks. Kevin Lacroix holds him down. Andrew Reegser looked to the inside for a moment. Lacroix with a good run to the high side.
White flag is out last time into 1 and 2. Door to door. Onto the back straightaway they go. Cameron with the advantage.
Marc-Antoine Cameron edges out in front. Through 3 and 4 they go. Who's it gonna be? Marc-Antoine Cameron wins the Bayer 300. Kevin Lacroix second. Andrew Reegser third. LB Dumoulin fourth. Donald Teach rounds out the top 5. What a show here in Alberta.
You know, I'm surprised it didn't end up being a photo finish considering Lacroix literally managed to hang on during the first lap. Damn. But anyways, it's Mac Attack, yes, that's apparently been the nickname going around, thanks Cam K. He goes to victory lane once again. What a campaign the number 96 car has had for GM Paillet this year. It's his 4th career victory, first at Edmonton, and it's just more proof that Cameron is and will remain a championship contender. Looking at the race results, Andrew Reegser had a turbulent day, but managed to come back home on the back end of the podium. Fair enough. LP Dumoulin qualified 11th, but had to start at the back due to an unapproved adjustment, and he still managed a solid finish. A respectable top 5 run for Donald Teach, who fought hard for what looked to be a potential podium result. I am shocked to see Brandon Watson in 6th after what had happened with Alex Tagliani. Gary Clute had a top 5 run going, but the later stage of the race plus the final restart kinda kicked him in the butt. Another quiet but splendid run for Dexter Stacey, who has been on some people's radars lately for what has been a very underrated year for him. Jamie Chris-Sheik scores a top 10 in the first of 3 races on the West Coast. Good job by him. Rafael Lessard had a surprisingly poor day, only finishing 15th despite qualifying 4th, and it's unfortunate that Trayton Lapcevic had to be unintentionally caught up in the Tagliani and Watson fiasco. After Edmonton, these are what the point standings look like, or would it be better to say looked like that actually, because on the day of the Saskatoon races, the tea was spilt. Major penalties were revealed post-Edmonton, and they were heavily against 4 people. Marc-Antoine Cameron, his crew chief Robin McCluskey, Alex Tagliani, and David White. Turns out that the number 96 didn't have Cook mufflers on the exhaust pipes in the rear suspension system. I'm not a car expert, I hope to God I got that right. But yeah, that was found in post-race tech inspection. Because of this, Cameron lost 12 points, the team loses points in the owner's standings, and McCluskey was suspended for the first of the Twin 125s in Saskatoon. Tagliani's penalty is a case of, well, what do you expect? He literally wrecked someone intentionally. He lost 12 points himself. And then there's David White, team owner for Brandon Watson, who, based on the infraction details, had some sort of a confrontation with Tagliani's team. He only gets a probation penalty, so I guess that's fair. It appears these are the point standings after the penalties, with Kevin Lacroix leading instead of Cameron, and Tagliani has dropped to 9th. Now, to be fair, these points don't technically matter in this video, somewhat, because we still have 2 races to discuss. Does Cameron's oval dominance keep going? Will Gary Clute finally manage to score a win? And do Tagliani and Watson get clashing together once again? Let's see. Well then, let's recap. Race 1. Brandon Watson, Kyle Stegling, and Andrew Ranger, the top 3 best in practice, while drivers such as Gary Clute and Marc-Antoine Cameron are left to be desired for now. In qualifying, on the other hand, Trayton Lapsevich was able to hang on by 0.008 over Ranger, with Donald Teague, Kyle Stegling, and Kevin Lacroix wrapping up the top 5. Very surprising to see LP Dumoulin back in 15th. The first half of the race was relatively calm as the field spread out for the most part, although there was a big moment between Cameron and Gary Clute as the 96 car went around in turn 2, somehow managing to keep it straight, but narrowly missing the pit road barrier. One of the greatest saves of the year right there, hands down. As soon as the halfway point passed, it was a literal anarchy. An incident on the backstretch, mainly involving TJ Renomato, who reportedly went hard into the outside wall, also collected Lapsevich, Alex Tagliani, and Wallace Stacy. Everyone but Renomato was able to continue, although I swear Tagliani had quite the hood damage during the eventual red flag. On the restart with 30 laps remaining, Andrew Ranger sped away from the field while about 2nd to 6th or 7th-ish did some pack racing, and I swear, for about 10 to 15 laps, literally none of those cars could get away from each other. It was absolutely shocking to see none of them had either wrecked or separated in a good form. Well, about that. Anarchy! To NASCAR overtime we go, and like many other videos, it's your turn to experience the finish.
Time, here we go.
Off of turn number 4, Andrew Ranger sets the pace, gets on the loud pedal. DJ Kennington with a good launch on the outside, door to door through 1 and 2. Look at Kennington roll the high side.
Steckley and Cameron right with the 2 leaders as they roll into this one. Cameron down on the bottom. Steckley holding it tight. White flag is out. Kennington noses out around Ranger.
Kennington noses ahead on the front straightaway, down to 1 and 2. He takes that big arc. Look at the run Kennington has on the backstretch. He can't close the door on Andrew Ranger, the Ranger too aggressive. To the finish line off of turn number 4, side by side. Kennington for the win. Ranger second. Cameron third. What a finish.
DJ Kennington is a 2022 winner! Woo! But wow, what a finish. And guess what? There's still another race to do. But let's very quickly go over the race results and the supposed points after the first of the twin 125s. Cameron's early big save meant everything as he came home third in a heated battle over youngster Kyle Stegling, who, yeah, how about that for his first Pinty Series race? Shout out to Trayton Lapsevich for his resurgence from the earlier incident and finishing 5th, and how about Dexter Stacey with yet another quiet but awesome run in 6th. Okay, points time. Well, look at that. Cameron is retaking the lead. Somehow. Take away the penalty though and the lead is likely better, but anyways. Lacroix remains in 2nd, but look who's advanced their way up. It was very crucial for Kennington to score a win around this time of the season, and he's got it done, sitting 10 points behind. Gary Clute remains at his normal points pace, and Andrew Ranger keeps slowly climbing up the standings bit by bit. Well, hopefully Cameron keeps it up with some resurgence at Trois Rivières. Sorry, what were you saying? There's still another race to... Oh yeah! It's a double header. Oh boy. Alright, race 2. Only without one driver, TJ Renomato. The way the starting lineup was determined for this one was by the fastest lap times during race 1, and none other than Donald Teague scored the best time, therefore, second twin 125, pole sitter. Teague was alright for the first 30-ish laps, but he soon faded within the field, and so did his front row competitor DJ Kennington, who as a matter of fact, jumped the start, and even had to serve a drive-through penalty. Well, that's a great way to come off your first win of the season, huh? Even Rafael Lassard collected a penalty, although I don't understand why in his case. Looking to prevail off momentum from falling just short in race 1, Andrew Ranger dominated the first half of the race, and during that time, Alex Tagliani had surged from 9th to 2nd, eventually catching up to Ranger and taking the lead away in a surprisingly clean manner. Had that been Brandon Watson and not Ranger, then I can only imagine it probably would have been very different. Anyways, incident-wise, only 2 were most notable, as Dexter Stacy and Gary Kluk got into each other off turn 2, giving Stacy a flat tire, and then the other incident involved the other Stacy, as Wallace was turned by JP Bergeron. On the final restart, Tagliani quickly pulled away from Ranger and LP Dumoulin. The number 27 GM Paillet car did keep it close and was just about 1 car length behind, same for Dumoulin, but sadly for Ranger, it was going to be another runner-up finish, as coming off turn 4, Alex Tagliani took the checkered flag to win the second Twin 125, which was his 11th career victory, and his first at Saskatoon. Looking at the race results, there isn't much surprise at the top, but it's great to see top 10 finishes from JP Bergeron and Mark Dilley. And let me just say that Dilley had quite the car for the West Coast swing, with a 12th place at Edmonton and the 9th and 12th again at Saskatoon. Guys like Kyle Steckley and Trayton Lapsevich didn't have such good luck in race 2, unfortunately. Alright, this is the point where the points do matter, and here they are. Kevin Lacroix is once again the points leader, but look at who's in second. To clarify, DJ Kennington was tied for 6th in points after Toronto. Then he finishes 7th at Edmonton. Then he wins Twin 125 number 1. Then he finishes 6th in Twin 125 number 2. What a run on the West Coast for this legend. It still baffles me how close the points are within at least the top 9, and I wouldn't even count out Bergeron either, to be honest. Okay, actually, I'll help you out here. This was the point standings after Toronto, and this was the point standings after Saskatoon. You see how close they remain? Jeez Louise. Let's say you're Trayton Lapsevich, alright, you're 28 points behind. He could still get his consistency back on track, finish well in all of the next 5 races, and steal the championship. I'll also clarify what the rest of the schedule is once more. Trois-Rivières, Ojwickan, Circuit Icar, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and Delaware. That is 3 road courses, a dirt oval, and 1 asphalt oval. For reference, the first 8 races had 5 asphalt ovals and 2 road courses. If you want to make a prediction at this point, there's literally no way in absolute hell that you're going to be fully correct. Enough said. And speaking of the remainder of the schedule, yup, Trois-Rivières aka GP3R is next. Assuming by the race name, a 60-lap Grand Prix around 11 of the tightest turns you'll ever find on a NASCAR circuit. It's like Toronto, but driver vision is very difficult, and there are even elevation changes. The finishes at this track, especially with that final 11th corner, are some of the best in the series' history, and hopefully we'll get another historical one on Sunday, August 7th. It's also going to be a special one as former Formula 1 champion and 2022 Daytona 500 participant Jacques Villeneuve makes his 5th career Pinty Series start with Dumoulin competition, and many other road course aces return to hopefully put on a great show. Whenever the potential entry list for the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivières pops up, I will upload to my community tab, so stay tuned within the next week or so. Be sure to tune in once again if you can, whether it's on tsn.ca, the TSN app, or FloRacing, which all do require subscription by the way, and continue to show your support for the NASCAR Pinty series in whatever way you choose to do so. So, that's going to do it for this one. You got any thoughts? Leave them in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and give this a thumbs up. My name is Reegser, or Reeks for short, and thank you for watching. Have a good one.